The video you're about to watch right now was what Donald Trump said on national television. In fact, he emphatically addressed the people of the United States of America last night at 10 p.m. after the United States of American Air Force successfully executed their operations in Iran. Mind you, that operation was seamless. It was precise. There was no involvement of civilian. Their interest was the nuclear enrichment site, which they carried out that attack successfully without any obstruction. Now, concerns are growing, owing to the words or the things that Donald Trump said in this video. I would want you to listen carefully, and I will meet you right away.
News alert, here's the president.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raising Cane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military.
Well, like I've always opined, there are consequences for actions, for every actions, and actions and reactions are always equal but opposite. It is obvious that the United States of American government is fully prepared for whatever may be the consequence or the outcome of this their mission, which was well executed successfully. In the last weeks or in the last days, Donald Trump has authorized the largest military deployment to so many air bases, land bases across Europe, across the Middle East, in Qatar, even in Iraq, as well as in some other places around the Middle East. They have deployed, and now they are not just deploying, they are now in full defensive mode. American warship, the submarine, is stationed at the Pacific, at the Indian Ocean. So these guys are ready, and I can tell you, they've equally deployed these B-2 bombers, bunker busting bombs at some other, locations in readiness for whatever may be the retaliation attack from Iran. And I have said it before, and I'm saying it again. My only consolation a little bit on why I'm very optimistic that this may not escalate too much is because Russia, which I know say that country, now troublesome country, Putin know the hear word. But at this material time, Putin has little or no interest in this war for many reasons. Putin has, been a very close friend of Donald Trump personally. And I've also listened to Putin in several occasions where he acknowledged that there are a lot of Russians living in Israel. So Putin may play a more peaceful role than a devastating role. So he can't get into the fight for any reason. China may be the only country that might try to get in, which I don't know if they will at the end of the day. In the last days, China has delivered, truckload of ballistic missiles to Iran. Nobody knows the content of those missiles. So tension is growing. I sincerely pray for peace, and I hope for the best for the world at large. It baffles me many a times why people continue to acquire materials, chemicals, weapons for building, weapons of mass destruction. I don't know why we spend a lot of money in some of these things. I'm not in any way trying to condemn Iran and praise America, but there should be limits to what we do in this century. If it is possible for the world at large to come together and ban in totality the use of nuclear weapons, the use of nuclear warheads, it will make the world much more safer. Because when every country is at liberty to produce, nuclear weapons, nuclear warheads, for example, especially countries that are known to be very troublesome, at the slightest provocation, when this equipment, these weapons are used, mankind will be erased from the surface of the earth. So it has to be controlled, in my own opinion. However, it has to be done peacefully, you know what I mean, in order to preserve human dignity and save lives. At this point, I sincerely pray that, diplomatic missions become successful in restoring peace once again between America and Iran, as well as between Iran and Israel. At this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. My another person, Siam. God bless you.